How Stoic men win without pleading. The weak man talks too much. He explains, he begs, he pleads, thinking words will save him. But here's the brutal truth. Silence is stronger than begging. A Stoic man doesn't need to prove, convince, or chase. His calm silence carries more weight than 1,000 desperate words. And once you understand how to use silence as power, you'll stop losing and start winning without even asking. When a man begs for attention, love, or validation, he gives away his power. Every desperate word tells her, I am beneath you. I need you to complete me. And the more you plead, the less respect you earn. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1 pleading is the opposite of being. It's arguing, explaining, hoping for approval instead of showing strength through action. Look at relationships where the man constantly explains himself, over texts, or apologizes for things he didn't do wrong. His words pile up, but her respect fades. Why? Because pleading communicates dependence, and dependence is weakness. A Stoic man understands that respect is never won through begging. It is maintained through self-control. Silence, when used with strength, shows that you do not need to chase. It shows you value yourself enough to walk away if necessary. And that silence leads us to the next truth. How restraint, not reaction, is the mark of real power. Most men believe power is shown by speaking louder, arguing harder, or proving their point at all costs. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Real strength is found in restraint. The man who can hold his tongue in the heat of emotion is the man who truly controls the situation. Epictetus said, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." A careless word can ruin respect, escalate conflict, or expose weakness. Silence, on the other hand, keeps you in command. Think of an argument where one man shouts, pleads, and explains himself endlessly, while the other stays calm, listens, and speaks only when necessary. Who looks stronger? Who commands the room? Always the one who shows restraint. A Stoic man understands this. Silence is not emptiness, it is discipline. By refusing to react impulsively, you show composure that cannot be ignored. Restraint is magnetic because it signals confidence and self-mastery. And this mastery naturally flows into the next lesson, patience, the hidden weapon that turns silence into undeniable influence. In a world addicted to instant gratification, patience is rare, and that's why it's powerful. Most men panic when a woman pulls away, when she doesn't reply, or when things don't go their way. They react instantly, sending long texts, demanding answers, or chasing harder. But a Stoic man does the opposite. He waits. Seneca once said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Patience gives you leverage because it keeps you calm, while others lose control. The man who can remain silent, steady, and unbothered while the other side grows restless is the one who wins. Picture this. A woman tests him by giving the silent treatment. A weak man collapses, begging for attention. A Stoic man, he carries on with his life, focused on his goals, showing that her silence has no power over him. And eventually she notices because his patience reveals strength, not weakness. Patience is more than waiting. It's confidence in action. And when you combine patience with purpose, silence transforms from absence into authority. This brings us to the next lesson, how silence builds respect in ways that words never can. Respect isn't given, it's earned. And one of the quickest ways men lose it is by talking too much, explaining too much, or pleading for validation. The more you try to convince, the weaker you appear. Silence, on the other hand, carries weight. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." Why? Because silence shows control. When you don't react, when you don't defend yourself, when you don't rush to fill every gap with words, you project strength. People start leaning in, wondering what you're thinking, because restraint is rare. Think of the difference between a man who constantly argues to prove his worth and the man who says little but whose presence commands the room. The second man earns respect without asking for it. When you master silence, women begin to respect you because they see you as solid, unshaken, and above petty games. And from respect flows something even more powerful, attraction rooted in strength, not desperation. Which leads us into the next truth: why silence not only earns respect, but also creates undeniable attraction. Attraction isn't built through chasing, begging, or constantly proving yourself. In fact, those behaviors kill attraction instantly. Why? Because they signal weakness. And weakness never inspires desire. Silence, on the other hand, works like gravity. When you don't over-explain, when you don't respond instantly to every message, when you don't rush to fill the space with words, you create mystery. And mystery is magnetic. Epictetus reminded us, if you wish to be loved, love moderation. In modern terms, this means don't smother, don't overgive, don't plead. By practicing silence, you show that you're in control of yourself, not desperate for approval. That restraint makes you stand out. Women are drawn to men who hold back, who don't reveal everything, who let their presence speak louder than their words. Silence allows space for curiosity, and curiosity fuels attraction. But silence isn't just about creating desire, it's also about protecting yourself from emotional manipulation, and that's what we'll uncover next. Silence isn't just a tool for attraction, it's armor. The moment you react emotionally to every word, every test, every manipulation, you hand over control. But when you choose silence, you keep your power. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery isn't about shouting or proving your point. It's about staying calm when provoked, steady when tested, unshaken when others try to pull you into chaos. Women and people in general will test you. They may push your buttons, challenge your patience, or try to drag you into emotional games. The man who argues, explains, and pleads loses. The man who chooses silence stays in control. Silence gives you space to think, to respond with reason instead of impulse. It shields your dignity. It keeps you free. And this leads us to the final truth, the ultimate reason silence makes Stoic men win without ever pleading. At the end of the day, silence isn't about ignoring others. It's about mastering yourself. A man who can remain calm, who doesn't beg, who doesn't chase, becomes untouchable. His presence alone commands respect. Think about it. The world is loud, full of men talking, pleading, and explaining themselves. But the rare man who knows when to stay silent, he stands out. He doesn't lose his frame. He doesn't give away his dignity. His silence is a statement of strength. Epictetus taught that no one can harm you unless you consent. And every time you break your silence to beg or explain, you're giving that consent. You're letting others own your emotions. But when you hold your silence, you show that your mind belongs to you, and you alone. That's why Stoic men win without pleading. They don't need to. Their silence speaks louder than any words could. Now let's tie it all together in the outro. Silence is not weakness. It is discipline. It is strength. And in a world where most men waste their energy on chasing, begging, and over-explaining, the Stoic man separates himself by mastering restraint. When you stop pleading, you stop losing. When you embrace silence, you gain respect, clarity, and unshakable power. So remember, speak less, observe more, and let your silence carry the weight of a man who cannot be controlled. If you found value in this Stoic truth, subscribe now and join the journey of becoming the strongest version of yourself.